Welcome back for a new packed edition of NC Sports Weekly News. Legends among legends. Rock icon Pete Townsend of The Who presents his Eva at the Copa del Rey in Menorca. In the briefs, throttles up fans, the top pros take on the Aquabike Italian Grand Prix on Lake Viverone. Travermunder Woche's Summer of Sailing and Tradition. Americans rule at the Star Class World Championships in San Diego, California. In the spotlight, New Zealand teams dominate the new and sensational Red Bull Youth America's Cup. But the big surprise is Portugal in this most successful debut. AC34 update, they got game. The Clash of the Titans has truly begun. It's now the greatest sailing show on Earth. NC Sports, plunge into the action. The 10th edition of the Copa del Rey Panerai Trophy for Classic Yachts was recently held in Mahon. Re-evoking sailing's heydays, an impressive fleet of 50 boats from the early 1900s to the 1970s gathered here on the Spanish island of Menorca for some spectacular races in 4 different categories: big boats, Epoca, Classic, and Spirit of Tradition. Mariquita, Mariette, Manitou, and then the Cambria, or Emerald, and Samarkand. These are but some of the legendary names that made sailing history during the last century. They were boats of kings, noblemen, and presidents, which today have become the playground of wealthy sea lovers and even iconic rock stars. Hall of Famer Pete Townsend, a lead guitarist and songwriter of The Who, and a passionate sailor, was also in Menorca on board his most recent acquisition, the 17.5-meter Eva, a historic cutter penned by designer William Fife back in 1906.
I'd always wanted a small boat that I could race in classic racing. I've got a big boat, a big schooner that I cruise on, and I race it sometimes. Raced it in the bucket in Newport and in St Bart's bucket and a little bit in the Caribbean. But I wanted a small boat that I could race in all of the European circuit, and I found this boat in Spain. And it's a small Fife, and it had a very good record. And I bought it early this year. It's the same with all of the old boats. You know, things will break in the end. But the things that we've had break on this boat in the last 2 days are 2 spinnakers, which are brand new and I've just bought. So, but they can be repaired. A lot of the boats are very old, and so inevitably things break, but they can be fixed. One of the things about the reason for buying an old boat is because you're preserving it, you're keeping it in good condition, and it costs a lot of money, and you know, I've made a lot of money in rock and roll, and I can put it back into the boat. With my guitar I make money, with my boat I throw it away.
With 30 knots of wind cancelling the last of the 3 racing days, the leaderboard at this Panerai Trophy was set on the early regattas. The 1912 Lady Anne dominated the FI-15 division. 1915 Mariette clinched the big boats. Chinook and Horizonte, built respectively in 1916 and 1942, clinched the last 2 Epoca categories. In the Classics, victory went to the 1956 Alba, while the 1970 Charisma won the Spirit of Tradition. The UIM ABP Aquabike Pro Tour revved up the action in Viverone for 2 days of racing and freestyle on the small lake near Turin. Youssef Al Abdul Razaka dominated by winning both heats of the roundabout GP1 class at this Italian Grand Prix. And totaling a strong 14-point lead, the Kuwaiti rider has sent a clear message to the competition. The French squadron had to settle for second with Jérémy Pérez and a third-place finish for reigning world champion François Médori. Spain's Nacho Armillas grabbed his second consecutive Grand Prix title here in the Ski GP1 division, with Alberto Monti of Italy in second and Lucas Bina of Hungary in third. In the spectacular freestyle division, the Slovenian Florjancic brothers put on their best performances and got a 1-2 with Brock tallying a series of 10 backflips for the highest score and nearly equaled by Knack. The ever-present Valerio Calderoni kept up the pressure and took third place in what is now a three-way battle for the overall title. With 10 fantastic days of sailing in the historic Baltic Sea resort of Travermunder, just north of Lübeck, it was a perfect trial run for the next big 125th anniversary coming up next year here at the Travermunder Woche, one of Germany's most prestigious summer festivals, mixing high-end sailing and dockside events for the joy of onlookers. Just about anything that could race was on the water, as 12-knot breezes and good waves made for perfect sailing conditions. Hobie Tigers, Wildcats, Hobie Dragoons, big boats, and then again 505s, J22s, Tornadoes, and folk boats. This prestigious yearly event brings together some of the very best sailors in the nation and from all over the globe. Including world, European, and national titles in several classes, Travermunder Woche is delivering its promise, and following this year's renewed success, all expectations are now focused on the Big Bash in 2014. Four second places in 6 regattas were more than plenty for John McCausland and Phil Trinter to grab a 9-point lead and capture gold at the Qualcomm Star World Championships in San Diego, California. After exactly 10 years, the veteran crew now celebrates a second title following their victory in 1993. Second place honors went to Andrew Campbell and John von Schwartz, who won 2 races but paid dearly for another 2 poor placements. A single point behind, Mark Reynolds with Hal Hainel took the bronze, while French team Xavier Rohart and Serge Pulfer just missed the All-American podium. Light and Shifty Air put on a tactical twist on the 6 races of the event on the legendary Star class. Designed over 100 years ago, the former Olympic Queen and the training ground of many past and present America's Cup pros, the Star still draws some of the best sailors in the world, including Ian Percy, Hamish Pepper, and Robert Scheidt, among many, many others. It was about Kiwi domination all over again at this much-anticipated debut of the Red Bull Youth America's Cup in San Francisco, with both the New Zealand teams filling the top podium position. The big surprise, however, at this newest high-end youth sailing challenge was Team Portugal, holding back many top sailing nations to clinch third-place honors. NZL2 sailing team, skippered by Peter Burling and backed by the big boys on Emirates team, had an exceptional series, winning 2 of the 7 races and securing yet 2 more placements for the final overall 12-point lead.
Really stoked with the victory here. It's kind of added to a pretty special few years for us. We're getting a silver medal at London as well, and yeah, it's really cool that we've done it under Team NZ's banner, under Emirates Team New Zealand's banner, and yeah, we're really excited, looking forward to the future and looking forward to the next few weeks of racing and seeing what's going to hold in the future of the America's Cup.
Runners-up on NZL1 Full Metal Jacket led by Will Tiller succeeded on consistency with a single win, yet grabbing valuable points on each race. Team Rafa Kaiskais was the true revelation of this Youth AC number 1. The Portuguese underdogs spoiled the party for both the favorite Swiss on Team Tilt and the guys on American's Youth Sailing Force. With just a single point separating the three teams, the score revealed an extremely tight series. The 4 spectacular sailing days on the AC-45 catamarans in the breezy San Francisco Bay became a pinnacle moment for the over 60 sailors between the ages of 19 and 24. 8 nations took to the water following a grueling selection process last spring for the challengers.
Yeah, actually we have a podium which is split out of the selection 2 teams and one which has the support from Emirates Team New Zealand, and the best one for sure. And whatever we had, it was a nice event with 60 sailors on board, and their future is professional sailing.
Conceived and strongly backed by top America's Cup sailors and organizers, the new series aims at building the multi-hull racing pros of tomorrow. For the full take with more highlights and top interviews of this very first Youth America's Cup, check out the next edition of NC Sports Buzz. The greatest sailing regatta of all times indeed lived up to its name as America's Cup 34 finally kicked off over the weekend, pitting the U.S. defender Oracle Racing against the challenging Kiwis on Emirates Team New Zealand, winners of the Louis Vuitton Cup. 2 sailing traditions, 2 different AC-72s, and 2 of the strongest contender nations in the history of the event are facing off in this completely new 21st century game. And the outcome has been absolutely astonishing. A real boat race is now truly on, and perhaps unsurprisingly, with 2 very close performers. As expectations built up for this clash of titans, ETNZ came in as a strong favorite, and as the new masters of foiling following their complete domination of the LVC. Yet the Dean Barker-James Spithill duel in the San Francisco Bay is no walkover. The first of 4 races of this best of 17 series do tell a different story in the making. 3 straight losses did not discourage the Americans as the team made its crucial comeback, putting ETNZ on the ropes in race 4. As we close this weekly news edition with an initial 3-2-1 score for Team Emirates, it is clear now that Oracle Racing is a dangerous contender. The spectacular speeds, the tactical ability, boat handling, one thing is for sure. Now with 2 equal contenders on the America's Cup race course, this game has reached a completely new dimension in sailing, with all the sparks of high-end match racing. For the complete AC34 update, stay tuned to Nautical Channel and the next edition of NC Sports Top Story. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.